Well, I think the solution is more partnerships, more discussions, and there are other ways to obtain the data that they're looking for in this case as well. There are advanced forensic techniques that they can use. There's
that the FBI can use?
That the FBI can use, correct. But they shouldn't, my point here is that they shouldn't be relying on a private company to go in and hack its own system. Apple has spent millions, probably billions of dollars making the iPhone more secure over the years, and they're being ordered here by a court, and this is unprecedented, ordered by a court to go and create a whole new version of their operating system solely for purposes of removing the privacy and the security safeguards that they've put on the iPhone over the years. They've made it one of the most secure mobile platforms in the world. Generally speaking, courts issue search warrants, they issue subpoenas for companies just to turn over information or things. Here they've actually commandeered the Apple development staff and asked them to go and create this whole new version so that the Department of Justice, the DOJ, can hack the iPhone of the San Bernardino
I'm
terrorists.
confused. But at the same time, you're saying it's all very hackable and that the government should still hack it and can hack it. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, not in this particular case. In other cases, I think that probably human intelligence, advanced forensic techniques on the front end, before, so that they can find these terrorists before these events actually occur. There needs to be more investment in
why
that
do you think technology companies should somehow be immune to warrants and subpoenas like the rest of the analog world?
Oh, I certainly do not at all. They should have to respond to warrants and subpoenas. This is not a warrant. This is not a subpoena. This is an unprecedented court order that makes them go and rewrite their own operating system and remove the protections that they had in that operating system. This is absolutely unprecedented.
But in an instance in which these devices are being used for what could be described as terrorism, right? I mean, that's the allegation here. Is there no moral obligation for a company to try to help solve this particular crime? And
sure,
in terms
I think
of
there is.
Jane, in terms of the slippery slope, the argument becomes more complicated if you had an instance where something was happening in process, live, right? So if I told you, for example, that we thought that there was terrorism activity and that something terrible was going to happen to multiple people tomorrow, would your position change in terms of the requirement that a company like Apple try to help the government solve that in advance?
No, I don't think it would change at all, because my position is that absolutely the company should try to help. And in fact, here Apple has tried to help. Apple went and turned over the entire backup for the iPhone that was on the iCloud. They've cooperated with the FBI, with the DOJ quite a bit. What they haven't done is rewritten their entire operating system for this one case, something that could impact the privacy and security of its hundreds of millions of users all over the world. So yes, they've been very cooperative.
Why is James Comey wrong then, when he says this is a narrow instance and that they would not be taking this software and putting it out on the land, as he said?
Well, because I don't think the FBI would intentionally release the software that they're requiring Apple to write here. But you and I both know that these things get out, and the software itself doesn't even have to get out. If the techniques and the methods that Apple uses to get rid of the privacy and security safeguards, if those techniques and methods get out, then again, the damage that could occur to the privacy and security of hundreds and millions of people all over the world is immense. Right. And Apple itself would probably be subject to huge reputational and economic risks at that point. So, I mean, I fully agree with Apple in their stance.
But, Shane, how safe is it really if they can actually hack their own system?
Well, it's very safe because they're not even sure they can hack it yet. They'd have to go in and redesign the operating system. So the court has ordered them to go in and try to do this, to remove certain protections that prevent it from being hacked. And Apple's not even going to be the one that hacks it here. They're supposed to remove the protections according to this court order and then turn that software over to the DOJ. And again, this is Apple turning over this software to the DOJ where they don't know where the software is going to end up. They don't know if it's going to be used on other phones. And they don't know whether the methods are going to be used to compromise the security of their users all over the world.
Is there a compromise that you could see?
In this particular case, or just in the broader sense? In this particular case, I'm not sure if there is or not. I don't think there's enough detail out there for me to answer that question.
What about in the broader sense?
What about what?
In the broader
sense, I think generally speaking, you have a lot of posturing going on here by both sides. On the government, they've exercised their nuclear option, which is this 18th century statute that they're trying to use to make Apple go out and develop something for their use. And you know, on the Silicon Valley side, on Apple and others, could probably sit down and be a little bit more cooperative as well. I think if you get those people around a table and you talk about compromise, you can build programs, you can build escalations, such that these companies will help under certain circumstances do certain things. But I think one point that we're missing here is that Apple doesn't have a key to this phone. Apple doesn't have the ability to go in and unlock it for the government right now. All they can do is go through this immense development effort to remove all the protections that they've taken years to put in and to let the DOJ be more successful in their hacking efforts.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Cramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.